Hi third graders, happy Friday. I know some kind of sad news was let out yesterday, but I'm really excited to continue doing these different types of learning with you. Something you've all been requesting all year is that we blow things up, or that we have a science experiment day. So behind me you will see us getting ready to do a science experiment. We are going to be discussing chemical and physical reactions, but mostly we're going to be putting Mentos in pop and to see how much they explode.
Woohoo!
So Miss Emily is here with me. She's going to help me with this experiment. But let's go over what we're going to do first. So chemical and physical reactions. I was on a run today and I was like, I think this is a chemical reaction. Come to find out, what we're about to do is actually a physical reaction. So a chemical reaction, and Miss Emily gave me this great example earlier, is if you think of baking, you have all the different ingredients. So you have like flour and sugar and eggs, but when you mix them all together, you get a brownie, and so you can't pick out the flour, or the sugar, or the eggs anymore. They're all combined. They've created a new substance in a form. So that would be a chemical reaction. A physical reaction is when two or more things combine together to create a different look or a different style. The example Miss Emily also gave me was like if you took a hammer to the wall's going to look different afterwards, but in the end you still have a hammer and you still have a wall. So what I believe with these is going to happen is it's going to be a physical reaction. You're going to still have the Mento and you're going to mix it with the soda, and you are, at the end we're still probably going to have soda, and then the Mento might be at the bottom. So you can let me know if you feel strongly that it's a chemical or physical reaction, but in the end our materials aren't combining together, they're just making something else look different. Okay, then we have to go into our hypothesis. First, let's look at our materials. We have Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Mountain Dew, mints, and then the Tic Tacs are for a later part of this. So we are going to put a Mento in each of these 4 sodas. And I want you, I'm going to give you a moment in a second, to predict which one of these 4 pops is going to have the greatest eruption. Which one? And by greatest, what we're going to look for is the highest. Which one explodes the highest? So my theory or hypothesis is the greatest reaction will occur when we put 2 Mentos in the Coke Zero. And we're going to put 2 Mentos in all of them. I know that's not an if-then hypothesis, but it's still my theory of what I think is going to happen. So I'm going to give you like 30 seconds to write down on a piece of paper or comment below which one do you think will have the greatest reaction? Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, or the Mountain Dew? Ready? We'll give them 30 seconds.
Ooh, can you sing the Jeopardy theme music?
Feel free to turn and talk to your neighbor if you have someone by you.
A dog, a babysitter, a parent.
Sometimes I talk to myself, you know, whatever.
If we look out here, there might be like a deer that joins us. We'll see.
All right, so I hope you have your hypothesis down. I hope you commented. And then our procedures, well, first me and Miss Emily are going to each put 2 Mentos in our 4 different pops. And then we'll discuss briefly, and then I'm going to do Tic Tacs and a Diet Coke to just see how that compares. So we're going to pay attention to all 4 of those pops, but we're going to especially key in on the Diet Coke, which is at the end.
You got to move out of the way, Miss Heiser.
Diet Coke.
That's the one. All right, welcome back.
So, and then we will maybe discuss that, and then I have a surprise explosion for you as well.
What?
I know, crazy stuff. Surprises.
Should even tell her assistant. What is this?
And then probably in a different video, hopefully, I'm hoping I get soaked during this video.
She put a raincoat on, guys.
I did. And then we'll discuss the results later. So, enjoy. All right, friends, are you ready for this? Keep your eyes specifically on that end one, but watch all the crazy happen. We'll give a moment. I feel like I need to say raise your hand, but how many of you think the Mountain Dew? Miss Emily, we didn't ask you, which one do you think will have the greatest?
Yeah. Well, my favorite of these is Coke. So I'm going to guess Coke just because it's my favorite
just
to
for
drink.
that reason. Mm-hmm. I mean, hypothesis
it's very
is a
scientific.
hypothesis.
Okay,
right.
This is hurting. My calves are burning, so we need to hurry.
Ready? Set. Go! The Mountain Dew! Oh. Did any of them get very high?
That one did pretty good.
The Coke Zero?
Yeah. was looking at the Coke, not the Diet Coke.
The Diet Coke is going for the longest.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, you know what? Oh, wow. She does just keep going.
That keeps going.
Once they're done, we actually will like be able to see.
Which one let out the most?
Yeah.
The Mountain Dew.
It was a little disappointing. It's still like baby fizzling inside.
The
This
Diet
is super
Coke.
cool. Do you want to pick up your phone and come show them what they look like? The Mento in this Coke Zero one, it's still fizzing. So I hope that shows up here, but you can see it bubbling up in there.
So it's there.
Yeah.
Reactions occurring. The Coke.
Super cool.
Oh, you look at it like it's like warped.
Yeah. You come over here like the bubbles. It's not as fizzy, but it still just looks like someone
Still
shook
going.
it. No, it's getting a
Hey!
second win! He's trying so hard.
He's going. I read that like the carbonation level. That's why the diets work better because they have a higher level of carbonation, and then the artificial sugars react.
Do you know if the pops taste different after they have a Mento in there?
Would you like to try them?
Yeah. Boys and girls, don't do this part at home. Or at least make your roommate chill them first. You know, it really takes like all the fizz out of it.
Oh, so now it's like a non-carbonated drink.
Yeah. We can't share right now because
And I don't.
we
Yeah,
can't.
yeah. All right. It looks like our Diet Coke finally kind of simmered down. So
Wow, that's a lot.
that one definitely went for the longest.
That's at the bottom of the C on the Coke label. Like for comparison.
They look about the same though.
That's extra interesting. I bet that's because the Coke Zero had the bigger initial
Oh, so it got more.
reaction, so it spit out a lot more.
Further discussion later. But now we'll do the Tic Tac one, and then there's the Mountain Dew.
Just trying. I started recording now in case it blew up on you, but it didn't.
Okay, so just for funsies, we're gonna see how Tic Tacs react.
I don't have a lot of faith in this one, so I'll get close to you.
I wanted to get Pop Rocks, but there's a short.
We were very limited.
Okay, I got like 2, 4, 6, 8, 11.
Did you just drop one in there without all the others? That actually went a lot better than I thought it would. Let's get that video down.
Now we can't compare that with the other ones because we didn't use the same methods for it, so it's not comparable across, but we could compare it side by side with the other Coke.
And you use like 10 Tic Tacs versus like 2 Mentos.
If I add like later.
Listen, Ms. Heiser's trying to make this about science, but she really just wanted to blow some stuff up for you guys, so.
So the carbonation's all out of that one, so it's not gonna work anymore.
I know, I tasted it. It was gross.
All right. Now are you gonna?
I am recording now.
All right. So the surprise. Lots of explosions going on, but
Look at the aftermath.
I'm going to use a whole pack of Mentos. I'm debating if I just like, I don't know if I'll be able to get them out of there, if I like handful them in.
Maybe if you loosen the wrapper ahead of time so they like go quicker.
Like,
How many did you get in there?
I only have 3 left in the pack.
Oh, that's good. That means you
Look
can...
at some of them, bring it close. Some of the Mentos came out.
That's crazy.
Physical reactions, y'all.
Physical, yeah. What a good
An
connection.
explosion.
Look at how much farther that one exploded. Remember in our video last week we learned about volume? These bottles lost a lot of their pop volume.
All right, we'll recap in a bit.
Can I have a Mento? Thanks, friend.
Well, that was fun. We're going to take a moment and discuss the experiment. But remember, you were supposed to comment your hypothesis, and then you can also comment some things that you noticed about the experiment. But here's what I took away. So it was a physical reaction and not a chemical reaction. It was a physical reaction because when we were all done and we looked at it, we could still see Coke in the bottle, and we were able to find the Mentos still in full form. So a physical reaction occurs when something changes in looks, but there's still the separate materials. And then the greatest explosion came from the Diet Coke and the Coke Zero. They both seem to have a fairly similar height. The Diet Coke may have gone a little bit higher, but when we looked at the bottle, they both had about the same amount of Coke left over in them. But that Diet Coke did fizz for a long time afterwards. And then I want to check my hypothesis. My hypothesis was that the Coke Zero would have the greatest level of height. And it did, so my hypothesis was correct. But it wasn't the only one that had the greatest level of height. Me and Miss Emily were hypothesizing that Mountain Dew may not work, just because we've never seen Mountain Dew done an experiments, but we wanted to test it. And it really didn't work. It did fizz a little bit. And then my conclusion is the more mints you added, the greater the height of the explosion. And I found that after doing the initial experiment, when I did with the Tic Tacs and when I did that final one and just put a whole bunch of Mentos in it. So that was our science today. I hope you enjoyed. We're going to actually keep going. I want to discuss a couple things, and then I'm going to finish today's lesson off with reading The Secret Zoo. So, just some announcements. I want you to keep checking your emails. I know we won't be meeting in person for the rest of the year. I am going to find a way to get that Heiser currency to you and celebrate. But I can't give you answers right now at this point, but I'm going to be meeting with leadership later today and figuring out what the plan is going to be going forward. I also want you to know that next week is spring break. You can still contact me if there's an emergency, but I kind of want us to take that week just to enjoy our families and enjoy each other. And it's going to give me an opportunity to be able to set up and figure out what we're going to do after spring break. So please, please, please continue to check your emails. But I will send out information as I receive it, and then on Monday we will be starting more things. I've loved doing these videos, and at this point I plan to continue doing these videos, but there is going to be more coursework for you to do, and it is going to be required. So please keep your eye out that. I have a few different ideas, so I'll let you know once I figure it out. And then another note, I do plan to log on to Prodigy at 2:30 today, so please log on so that we can compete against each other. I am now, I think, at level 19 or 20, so I'm moving up. Any other announcements? The sky is beautiful right now. That's true. I love you guys, and I love hearing from you and getting to chat with you. It's the highlight of my week, and we're going to figure this out together. It is okay to feel sad and feel bummed about this. But we also have really good opportunities. We're going to get to learn how to do a lot of different things. We're going to keep learning. We're still a class. We're still a team. Remember, we're a community and we support each other. So that's going to continue even through this. I look forward to exploring the different options that technology has to offer to stay in contact with you guys. But know that it is okay to feel sad about this. But we need to also find joy in the circumstance. So I love you, and we're going to stay in touch. I hope that you have an amazing spring break. Find some fun things to do and stay active. And I know it's going to be like 70 degrees today, which is amazing. So enjoy what we have and enjoy your family and the really cool technology uses that we have. I know I've been chatting with a lot of people via Zoom and Google Hangout. I guess there's lots of good going on too. So something really good going on though is this story, The Secret Zoo. We are in chapter 4, A Mysterious Clue to a Mysterious Zoo. All right, I know I'm not supposed to touch my face, but my contact's out of place. All right, Noah sat on a bench in a quiet part of the zoo. He glanced over both shoulders to make sure nobody was around and pulled Mr. Talltail's paper out of his pocket. Neat cursive handwriting covered every inch. All the letters were joined by smooth arcs, and the dots on the I's were carefully placed. Though the ink was faded and smeared, he knew the penmanship. It was Megan's. There was no mistaking it. Noah glanced around again. Still, no one was nearby, and wind swept across the zoo. Noah took a breath, gathered his courage, and read the page. It started in the middle of a sentence. Keep seeing birds in the forest of the flight exhibit. They aren't supposed to be there. A bird chart near the entrance has a complete list of birds, but a few that I see aren't even on it. Then, every few days, some of these birds aren't around anymore. On top of that, an old lady who works there keeps following me around, asking me what I'm doing. She's creepy. The bottom of the page was missing. Noah flipped over. The writing at the top was too smeared to read. The words he could decipher began in the middle of the sentence, in the middle of a new thought. Can't write it down without feeling stupid, but I know what I saw. There's a wall with a hole in it. I think the holes are supposed to give the birds a private place to build their nests. They're supposed to be like cracks and crannies and rocks and mountains and stuff. I got curious. I found a bench near the wall and sat there a while, pretending to read a pamphlet. After an hour or so, I saw something. There was a bunch. The page was torn. Noah flipped the paper over repeatedly, hoping to find something in the margins. He dropped against the back of the bench and stared into space. What was going on? What did all this mean? Why had Megan been making trips to the zoo without informing the family? And how had Ilingar got hold of a page from her diary? Noah's first instinct was to tell somebody, an adult at the zoo, but Megan had been suspicious about the zoo worker. And he just had a strange encounter with a security guard? What did all this mean? The leaves fell around him like colorful snowflakes. He was stunned and confused. I don't get it, he muttered. I don't get it at all. But one thing Noah did understand was that he had to act, and he had to act quickly. In 2 hours, the zoo would close. That would be more than enough time to take a tour of the Forest of Flight and perhaps to examine the wall with the unusual crannies and holes. And that concludes chapter 5. Our next chapter is investigating the that was chapter 4, sorry. Chapter 5 is next, investigating the Forest of Flight. It's getting exciting. I can't wait to figure out what happens with our characters. I look forward to challenging many of you today on Prodigy at 2:30. Please feel free to call, text, or email me if you have any questions. And then I will get back to you with as much information as I have and I'm able to continue checking emails. And have a beautiful weekend. Love you. Bye.